AITA for not acknowledging my step-grandchildren when their mothers, my stepdaughters, made it clear I was no family of theirs. I really need to know if I'm being heartless, or if my feelings are valid. This has been eating at me for a while, and honestly I'm tired of carrying the weight of it alone. This might get long, so bear with me. I'm a 52-year-old woman married to my husband Mark. He's 57 now. We've built a life together and raised 3 amazing kids of our own, but Mark also has 3 children from his first marriage, 2 daughters, Eva, who's now 38, and Lisa, who's 36, and a son Michael, who's 27. Their mother, Mark's first wife, passed away during childbirth with Michael, a tragic loss that changed everything for everyone. When I came into their lives, Michael was still a baby. I raised him. I held him when he cried. I stayed up with him when he was sick. That boy is my son in every way that matters. But with Eva and Lisa, it's like I've been invisible since day one. On their best days, I was that woman who married their dad. On the normal days, I didn't exist. And on the bad days, I was painted as some pathetic pick-me who dared to love them and thought I could ever replace their mom. I never tried to replace anyone. I only ever tried to be there if they needed me. But they made it clear I wasn't welcome. They cut me out completely when they left for college. They barely kept in touch with their father. But with me, total silence. No birthdays, no holidays, nothing. And I knew it wasn't just them. It was their maternal grandparents, too, whispering poison into their ears, painting me as an intruder in their world. Years passed. Then suddenly Lisa reappears, but not for a reunion. No apology, no warmth. She needed money. She was getting married and wanted her father to pay for her wedding and buy her a house. And what does he do? He says yes, just like that. And when Eva came around asking for the same, he agreed again. I watched it happen. I watched them come back, not for love or family, but for money. And yeah, it stung. But I said nothing, because for the first time in years, Mark had that look in his eyes again. Hope. He was just so happy to have them around again. I didn't have it in me to ruin that. They didn't invite me to their weddings. Not even a courtesy mention. And when they started having kids, they made sure I knew I wasn't family. Not to them, not to their children. They shut that door tight and locked it from the inside. My husband and Michael tried to speak up, tried to defend me, but I told them not to bother. Why fight to stay in a place you were never wanted in the first place? I didn't push. I didn't force my way into their lives. I backed off. Completely. I took their rejection and buried it deep down, because that's what I'd always done. But let's be honest, I'm human. There's only so much cold shoulder you can take before you start to turn away too. So, yeah, I let go. Quietly. I didn't throw a fit. I didn't guilt trip anyone. I just stepped back. Time kept moving. My sons, Michael and Tyler, grew up, got married, and had children of their own. And when their wives came into the family, something shifted. For the first time in years, I felt wanted. I felt seen. These amazing women, my daughters-in-law, never once made me feel like I was just a stepmother or a second wife. They brought me into their lives like I was part of the foundation. When they were pregnant, I was there, at the hospital, in the waiting rooms, in the delivery rooms even. They let me hold those babies before anyone else. They called me Mom, not Mark's wife, not step anything, just Mom. And their kids, my grandkids, those children run into my arms like I'm the sun in their sky. They draw me pictures. They beg to come stay with me. They light up when they see me walk into a room. They know me. I'm part of their lives, deeply, daily. Meanwhile, Lisa and Ava's kids, I don't even know their middle names, and that's not by accident. I've only ever seen them at family events, Christmas maybe, or a rare birthday if we're all forced into the same room, and every time it's like I'm a ghost, sitting across from them at the table. Their moms never bother to talk to me beyond the bare minimum. Hi, how are you? Bye. That's the extent of it, and I'm expected, what? To build a bond with their kids under those conditions? You can't expect someone to pour love into a space they've been denied from since day one. I don't initiate hugs with those children because I don't know if it would be welcome. But if they offer, I never turn it down. I buy them gifts at Christmas. I include them in activities if they're around. I smile. I ask how school is going. I'm polite. I'm kind. I'm not cruel. But I'm not close, and I never will be. That's the reality. Because let's be real. They built this wall, brick by brick, Every ignored birthday, every missed invite, every time they made it clear I wasn't family, and now they want to act surprised that I'm not acting like Grandma of the Year. They're not upset because they care. They're upset because they're watching from the outside how well my other grandkids, the ones who actually know me, get love they chose to walk away from. You know what hurts the most? It's not the rejection. I got used to that a long time ago. It's the hypocrisy, the twisted expectations. Lisa and Eva spent years making sure I wasn't part of their world. They controlled the narrative. They told their kids I wasn't family. They told mutual relatives I wasn't a real mother. They never invited me into their moments that mattered. I wasn't there for their weddings. I wasn't asked to help with their pregnancies. I wasn't included in any of their celebrations, any of their milestones. I was invisible. And now suddenly they're outraged. Now they're calling foul because I don't show up like a doting grandmother to kids who were taught I didn't belong. It's not that I won't love those kids. It's that I was never given the chance to. The bond I have with Michael and Tyler's kids didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't automatic. It came from years of love. Late nights, tears, babysitting, advice, emergency calls, laughter, vacations, hugs that healed, words that mattered. But with Lisa and Eva, none of that was possible. They burned the bridge before it was ever built. And here's the thing, they didn't just cut me out. They cut my other children out too. Tyler remembers how cold they were, how they never came around unless they wanted something from their dad, how they never called him, never asked about his life, never made space for him as a brother. His wife, she saw it from the start and stayed loyal to me through all of it. She understands why I keep my distance. She saw the way I was treated. She knows what I gave and what I was denied. I look at Lisa and Eva sometimes and wonder, what is it you want from me now? Do you want me to fake a connection just so it looks better in front of others? Do you want me to pour love into a space where there's no return? You can't freeze someone out for decades and then shame them for being cold. This campaign they've started, this smear job to extended family, honestly, it's pathetic. They're calling it favoritism. They're calling it cruelty. They're painting me as some bitter stepmother who couldn't rise above. But here's the truth. They only want in now because they see the benefits. They see the love my grandkids get, the time, the gifts, the bonding, the history, and now they're mad they're not part of it. But it's not about love, it's about appearances, it's about status, it's about what they can gain. And I'm not stupid. I've seen how they treat their father, always ready to ask for help, money for weddings, down payments for houses, but never showing up just to spend time, never giving back, never saying thank you. It's all take, no give. They used him, and now they want to use me too. Well, I'm done being a placeholder. I'm done being a ghost. I'm not going to pretend I'm someone's grandma when their own mothers made it clear I wasn't welcome at the table. People love to show up when the party's already going, when the hard part's over, when the foundation is built and all that's left is comfort and connection and peace, but they don't want to acknowledge what it took to get here. Lisa and Eva didn't want to build with me. They didn't want to get to know me when it mattered. When they were teenagers and grieving, I tried. Lord knows I tried. I didn't try to replace their mother. I couldn't, and I never wanted to. I just tried to be someone safe, someone stable, someone who wouldn't leave. But even then, they rejected me, with disgust, with distance, with open contempt. Their maternal grandparents fed that anger. I know they did. They painted me as a threat, as an outsider, and Lisa and Eva clung to that narrative with all their might. And now that the years have passed and my grandkids from my sons love me like I'm their whole world, they want in. Now that I have bonds built on time and truth and tenderness, they want to stake a claim. That's not how this works. You don't get to erase the way you shut me out. You don't get to ignore the way you humiliated me, belittled me, pretended I didn't exist. And you sure as hell don't get to weaponize your children to guilt me into pretending like we've always been one big happy family. I'm tired of being the bigger person. I was the bigger person when you left me out of every single wedding photo, when you made sure I wasn't invited to baby showers or birthdays, when you made your kids call me by my first name like I was some acquaintance at the grocery store. I never lashed out. I never fought back. I never tried to force my way in. I accepted the rejection, even though it stung every damn time. So no, I don't feel bad for keeping my distance now. I don't feel guilty for loving the grandkids who love me back. who reach for my hand when they're scared, who call me grandma like it means something, who draw me pictures and tell me they missed me and fall asleep on my chest. That kind of love doesn't come from obligation. It's earned, and I don't owe Lisa or Eva access to it. Especially not now, especially not when the only thing that's changed is them wanting to look like good daughters, instead of being good daughters. I'm polite to their kids. I treat them with kindness. I never exclude them when we're all together. I bring gifts. I smile. I engage. But that's where it ends. And no matter how loud Lisa and Eva cry to the extended family, nothing will change the truth. I don't have to force myself into relationships that were never wanted in the first place. I didn't set out to be anyone's enemy. I didn't walk into their lives with expectations or entitlement. All I ever wanted was a shot at connection to stand beside their father, not in front of their mother's memory, but they never gave me that chance, not once. And now they want to paint me as heartless because I won't pretend we're family, because I won't play grandma to kids who were told I wasn't real enough to be part of their bloodline. Let me tell you something. You don't get to build walls for decades and then get mad when people stop knocking. You don't get to freeze someone out and then complain they aren't warm. And I don't care how many whispers go around at the family gatherings or what the aunts and cousins have to say behind closed doors. I know the truth, and so does my husband, and so do my sons and their wives. And that's all that matters to me. They saw how I was treated, how I was erased over and over again, and they see how I love their kids, how I show up, how I pour myself into being present. I never asked Lisa or Eva for anything, not their affection, not their validation, not their approval. All I asked for was basic respect, and even that was denied. So now I give my love where it's wanted, where it's returned, where I'm not just tolerated but celebrated. My grandkids, my real grandkids, they know me not because I demanded it, but because I earned it with time and effort and heart. And I'm not going to open myself up to more rejection just so someone can save face. This isn't bitterness. This isn't pettiness. This is peace. Peace that I've made with the choices I've had to make. I'm not punishing those kids. I'm protecting myself from being used. Again, from being a convenient prop in someone else's narrative. They want a grandmother now, because they see what a grandmother looks like when she's loved, but you can't reap the warmth of a fire. You never helped light, and I'm not about to start over from scratch, just to be discarded again when it's no longer convenient. So, no, I'm not heartless. I'm just finished. And if they can't live with that, maybe it's time they start asking why I walked away, instead of why I won't come back. I spent years trying to be someone they could turn, to someone who'd never walk away, someone who'd show up even when it hurt. And now, after being ignored, dismissed, and replaced, I've finally chosen me, because love isn't something you demand when it's convenient. It's something you build when it's hard. So if that makes me the villain in someone else's story, I'll wear it, but in mine, I'm just a woman who stopped chasing people who never wanted her in the first place, and started pouring into the ones who never made her feel like she had to beg to belong. Let them talk. I've found my peace. If you felt the story hit deep, don't forget to like and subscribe for more real, raw stories that speak the truth.